And good afternoon, and welcome back as we begin our journey through this bad weather. We'll talk about the extended mandate in Meridian of a curfew that goes back into effect tonight at 5 o'clock. I'm still in assumption, and I'll go to look on this here in just a little bit, that Newton County, all roads are shut down as well. Still, we'll check with the Sheriff's Department there in Newton County to verify that. One of the big questions that we have everywhere this afternoon is, what are the roads like? What do I do? Where can I go? Joining us now is Sergeant Andy West. And Andy, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Man, good. We've probably, it's been 20 years since we experienced anything like this on Mississippi roads. And you know as well as I do that we don't know how to drive in it. And you and your guys have to fight that every day.
Yeah, well, a combination of that, and obviously, I mean, we just don't have the resources that our neighbors to the north do. We don't deal with it often enough. But yeah, it's a difficult situation we're in right now.
So, what are the conditions of the road? What do you know about the interstates, the main fairways through our area? What is the latest information that we have?
It's all our bridges, they're ice covered. Some of them have been sanded, some of them have not. And a lot of areas throughout the district have ice, on the roads aside from the bridges. So we still recommend if you just don't have to get out, don't, because as you know, I-20, we're experiencing multiple accidents on that. Between mile marker 99 and 104 now, it's gridlocked with accidents, and we have personnel doing everything that they can do to clear them up. But it's tough working conditions, and they have to get to them one at a time. They have to
now that
navigate
area
through the traffic to get there.
As you said, it has a gridlock there. That's around Forest, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It's actually the spot that we're experiencing most trouble in right now is actually east of Forest.
East of Forest. Now, there's no way, if you come up on that, you pretty much have to sit there because there's not a way around that on a back road. You just got to sit there on the interstate more or less, don't you?
That's right. We do have traffic that's trying to go around it on Highway 80, but it's bumper to bumper and it's stopped now as well. It's a lot of bridges on 80, and there's ice on all our highways. So.
Right,
some may be better than others, but they're all tough right now.
What do you know about Highway 45, south and north? Do you have much information relayed back to you on that?
We don't have anything right now that's gridlocked. Traffic is flowing on it, but it's ice covered as all the others are. But right now, the traffic is moving freely on it. And
same thing with Highway 19, I would assume.
Yes, sir. Yeah, as well as I-59, traffic is moving, but.
Now, I don't have the figure in front of me, but I know that the Highway Patrol released a figure that was just really high of the many wrecks that have been worked. I know that y'all have. Do you know that figure off the top of your head? I'm forgetting it. I saw it earlier this morning.
I don't have it in front of me now, but it was today. Yesterday, our neighbors to the west experienced more call volume, but today it's kind of shifted to us in Troop H, and I think we're actually the district that's leading, the call volume in the state right now. The weather's gotten to us, and we're dealing with the bulk of it now.
And I may be putting you on a spot here with the next question that you may not know. Do you know of any lives that have been lost on Mississippi roads during this bad weather?
We've had one fatality in Neshoba County. And I don't have the report in front of me, but it occurred yesterday in Neshoba County.
And it was
but as far as outside of the district, I'm not familiar with any others.
But that would have something to do with ice on the road as well, also, would it not?
I would have to look at the report.
I got you.
I don't have it in front of me to
I got you.
say for sure. But
the best advice that you can pass along, because it continues asking everybody does about the roads. What is your advice to everybody that's listening and watching this afternoon about roads and what they should do about getting out?
Well, we understand as well as anybody, essential traffic, it has to move. We understand that some people don't have the option to stay home, but our advice is if you don't have to be out there, don't compound and be a part of the problem. Just try to stay off the road so that emergency personnel can get it cleared up. Don't cause a hazard for others or yourself.
And the next question that I have, and I'll let you go, Andy, I know that you got a lot to do, because there's always a lot of questions about salt and sand. Mississippi just does not have the equipment to get all that out on all these bridges. Isn't that what it amounts to?
Yeah, in comparison to, what you would think, or our neighbors to the north, I mean, we don't have the resources. We don't deal with it often enough. But,
Right.
I'd like to, say that our crews, emergency crews, MDOT, county crews, they're doing everything they can. They're just, they have a lot of work in front of them, and they're getting there. They're doing it. It's just, it's going to be a slow process.
All right. Well, Andy, thank you so much for taking your time and visiting with us this afternoon. And you be careful, and thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. You have a good evening.
All right. Again, that's Sergeant Andy West with the Mississippi Highway Patrol, as he put out, as roads are still bad in Mississippi. So if you don't have to go out, don't do that. We have to look at, now I've had this reported several times about I-20 there. The roads are blocked over there on I-20 there. So if you don't have to go, don't do that. Right now, it's about 50 accidents that is going on with the Mississippi Highway Patrol that they've had to go out and tend to. Also, the fatality that happened that Andy referred to was on Highway 15 near Union, claimed the life of a 20-year-old female. Our condolences to her family. Such a sad note. But y'all keep that in mind as we pass prayers and try to get through these storms. It's awful to lose a life on something with a wreck like this. Just horrible. Again, I want to thank Andy West for joining us this afternoon. As we said, the city of Meridian, and let me try to pull up that wording from the city of Meridian that I have. Actually, I've got it on my cell phone here. Let me go back and pull that up. That was text to me just a minute ago. All right, as we get into the curfew status, let me go over this. Almost to the top there. For immediate press release, the Meridian issues an extended public safety curfew here in Meridian, Mississippi. The city of Meridian announces that a curfew will be extended from 5 p.m. this afternoon until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Due to the hazardous weather conditions, the city respectfully asks for all residents to limit travel to essential personnel only. Refreezing and icing may occur throughout this evening. City offices and departments will also be closed on this afternoon until February 17th. That's tomorrow afternoon until 1 o'clock. Only essential personnel should show up. Tuesday's city council meeting has been rescheduled for February the 18th at 5 o'clock. City officials will continue to monitor weather conditions and will provide more up-to-date as they become available. Residents are encouraged to use extreme caution during this time as we're getting there. There's a lot going on with this weather. Now, let me pull this up so that, because I got Andy and I brought Andy on. I didn't have all my other little ducks in a row that I've normally got lined up, so bear with me as I pull up a few of these things and we go through them just kind of live in the moment. Now, we said this morning, the National Weather Service, and let's just get down to it because I know there's a lot of people going, them weathermen don't know what they're doing. Well, you're right. I don't care who the weatherman is. This was missed. It's Mother Nature that we're dealing with, and it looked like one thing, and it did another. Mother Nature is going to do what she wants. It was forecasted that today's high was going to be 32. Do you know where we're at right now? Yeah, nowhere near that. 19 with a wind chill factor of about 18. It's cold. That's here. That's very cold. Let me pull this up and let's just look at some temperatures. So everything that is out there is going to refreeze. It's not going to be any better tomorrow morning. So in most cases, we're getting ready to start seeing a ton more of closings for tomorrow because it is slick. Conditions have not gotten any better. As we go north of Meridian, let's look at this. Let me go back and make sure that that was right. That's saying that is, but let me refresh it just to make sure. 19 at Key Field is what that officially says. As we go here, let me pull this up where you can take a look here, and as we look at temperatures around the area, I'm not seeing anything just offhand that is above freezing. We go north of Meridian, we get a little 25 here and there. We go up to Scuba, 25. We start getting some lower 20s. We get to Philadelphia, 24 this afternoon. Union, we're sitting at 25. We go over to Forest, 24. And this is that stretch here where I-20 is got the accidents, and there's no travel on it this afternoon. We get over to the Brandon area, we're at 23, Jackson 23, up through here we're holding steady, mostly in the 20s all around in our area here. So Monroe, Louisiana is at 23. So the entire area, as we look at this, is still below freezing. We're going to dive back into that again tonight of more freezing weather. Low tonight of about 18 to 19 degrees. That's cold. Tomorrow we'll have a chance of showers after 3 o'clock. High 60% chance of that. 20-mile-an-hour winds, and the high should reach 44 tomorrow, kind of breaking all of that. And then we get into a low Wednesday night of about 35. Says it's not going to go past get below freezing. That would be good. We got about 2 inches of rain on Wednesday night. So a different ball game for different areas of the state, as we have that second winter storm that the National Weather Service says is going to come that's not supposed to affect the Meridian area. Let's hope it doesn't. Jackson, Mississippi, they're still saying that the cold continues through tonight. The Meridian area is an elevated threat, lows below 20 likely. Highs will not be getting above 32. As we look into the significant threat area, it's going to be extreme northwestern corner of Winston County, taking in Mississippi State and the west side of Columbus, over on that side, and all of the Mississippi Delta. As we look at the winter weather that could come in, that's going to be the next item that rolls through. Philadelphia is kind of the line that they're showing now. Northwest Neshoba County is what they're saying is going to be the line. And let me show you where that line is. Let's pull this up here where you can take a look here. As we look at this, we go in, this is Meridian, this is Neshoba County. This is what it looks like right across right here in this upper northwest corner of Neshoba County. And we turn on this, we'll see here that Pearl River sits here. It's going to be just to the west of where Arlington sits. It's going to be this just little corner right there that could get into that, the possibility of snow of what the National Weather Service is telling us. We'll watch it. I'll keep you informed the best we can on that. I was outside about 25 minutes ago, still had snow coming down. It was supposed to end at noon. You may be still getting snow where you are this afternoon as well. We're going to pay close attention to this over the next 48 hours as to what's coming. All right, let's see here, make sure we're all up to date. We have only thing left that we have is a hard freeze warning that is in effect for the entire area that's watching me here in Mississippi. At this point, Alabama does not have any watches or warnings, just Mississippi. And that's going to include Newton all the way down. If we look at this dark blue, let me pull this back up here. All this dark blue is where the hard freeze warning is tonight. From Hattiesburg all the way over to Jackson, Clark County, you're in this, and we go right up through Lauderdale, Kemper, taking in this entire area to just north of Starkville up to Griffith, Mississippi, and these areas there. That's what lies in effect for tonight. It's going to be very, very cold for us. Let me see if we had any questions here as we got along. Cindy Brewer is watching. Thank you, Scotty Ray, from Jerry Irvin. Let's see here. Miss Sutherland. Sharon Johnson is watching. Thank you. Also, Justin Chandler as we go. Still snowing in Philadelphia. Terry Reese says, still snowing in Philadelphia. So we got that one there. Watching Miss Joyce Poole. Tina Chisholm, snowing in Little Rock still. Karen Hurd is watching this afternoon. Alice Peden is watching. Also, Donna Brown along with Diana Nestor. Let's see here. As on Newton County, as the sun goes out today, hopefully it will start melting the ice on the roads as you get out and drive today. Please be aware that I-20 and Highway 80 still have significant ice on them. This is from the sheriff of Newton County. Amounts of ice on them, as well as the vast majority of county roads. There are still trees and power lines down all across the county. If you have to drive, please keep in mind that the county supervisors' crews, power crews, and DOT crews and first responders are out trying to clear the roads and get the power back on. That comes from Sheriff Jody Pennington. So still a bunch of issues. Roads, it's not an immediate shutdown, but it being strongly advised if you don't have to travel in Newton County, don't do this afternoon. Kyla Moore watching from Scuba. Still snowing in downtown Scuba also. Let's see here. Very light snow in Damascus, Lisa Peavy says. Still snowing in Dalewood. coming down there. Angela Bucknight says, thanks. Karen Hertz is still snowing on Pine Springs Road. Wow, this stuff's not going away, is it? Snowing in Tumsuba, also in Vossburg, Mississippi, James Sullivan says. Still snowing in Long Creek. That's Marie and Dean. Thank you for letting us know that. And Vicki Todd is watching this afternoon. That's a few of the things that are happening. Now, let's talk. Let me go over here, and we're going to go into EMEPA. I spoke to them just a little bit ago, and they released a message of how many they'd gotten back up, and let's see where we are on this. All right, let's look at the state of who we've got. I have to go back over to my little button pad and here get to where you can see it. There we go. Now, Texas at 4.1 million, 115 down in Louisiana. Let's get to where it concerns us. 38,000. That number has gone up statewide. We were at 36,000 people. What was that? 9 o'clock this morning when we were doing this. All right, so we're there, and Louisiana at 18. So let's jump over and look at EMEPA where we are. EMEPA has done a heck of a job. They were at one time 8,000 people without power. They are down to 829 people without power. And the way I think the terminology they use is 829 meters instead of people. But let's look at the breakdown now. And I know that if you're one of those 829 and cold, it's bad. I spoke with Debbie just a little bit ago, and she said she'd been without power. It's back on now, and it had gotten down to like 31, I think she said, in her house, according to her thermometer at one point, and all of that. That's cold. And Debbie should have drove over and gotten the heat over here. I'm going to have to get on you now. As we look at these areas, we still have looks like Bennsville is back on. We've got a little bit just east of Scuba as we go north of DeKalb, a few there, all around Moscow as we go down. It looks like Damascus. I've heard a little bit from y'all. So Damascus is still without power, it's looking like, if we look at this map right. Out to the east of Collinsville, a little bit down here near Wolf Springs, not much. As we look at the county breakdown, we look here, and that's not correct. That's not correct. We got 829, and then for whatever that may be, there we go, it updated then. Kemper County, there's 554 residents, 20 in Winston County, 249 in Lauderdale County. As we go to Clark County, we're down to 1 meter out. That's not bad. Newton, unless you're that one person, and then you're looking at me going, yeah, you ain't living in my house without the power. We've got 2 people in Newton County and 2 people in Neshoba County and 1 in Noxubee County, and they are working hard. They have brought those numbers down quickly. All right, let's check some more numbers here of what's out there. Let's look at Southern Pine of what they've got going on. And we'll look at it by county. Let's pull this up, because I know there's a lot of you that are on this also. As we look over at this in Newton County, I don't think that number has changed hardly any. 3,700 people in Newton County without power. It's been a bunch of trees down as they've asked you not to travel in there. That does make sense there. You go down to Smith County, 2,300. Jasper County still at 1,500. So there has not been much of a change with Pine. Southern Pine, that has not changed at all. I'm sure they're working hard behind the scenes, but it just on the maps, and maybe that's not updated as much. But at this point, that's what that's showing there. Mississippi Power, let's take a look and see what they've got going on with their power. And Mississippi Power is showing that they have 2,263 without power. So that number has come down a little bit with Mississippi Power also. Let me go back over and see who Central Electric. We hadn't looked at that. That's also up toward Philadelphia area. There's a lot of people on there. It looks like they have 3,100 and just almost 3,150. 3,146 is the number that Southern Electric is pulling here of power outages at the moment. We look at the map here, and that is mostly around Union, all the way up toward east side of Philadelphia on the rural route out in these areas here, and down through Conehatta there. I just got a note that Kemper Academy is going to be closed on Wednesday also, so we're getting an official word on that also. Let me see here. It seems like Yeah, and yeah, that's what we got back there, and so that doesn't matter. That next one, we've already talked about that right now. We've got a bunch of power out. It's everywhere right now. It's not looking like some of these are going to be taken care of by the end of the day. And I hate to say that out loud because I know everybody's kind of on the edge of their seats going, I need it. I hope you've got a generator, that you've got some form of either gas or you've got firewood to keep warm. If you don't, get in touch with a neighbor. If you've got a neighbor that you think could be that way, check on them. Give them a call. Ride a four-wheeler over, what you can to check on your neighbor. We have to kind of look out for each other when we're in these areas here. So check on that. Now, I'm going to go to work here in the next few moments, start compiling. If you've got a list of people that, a list of, if you're not going to work tomorrow, pass that along to me. I'm going to start working on that. We're going to come back in a little while and go live and talk more about closings, as we do know that Meridian has the curfew that is back into effect. Snowing in Shibuya. I'm getting that word also. So we'll be back in just a little bit and do more of this as we come along. It is cold, Scott said. Snowing in Cayo. Did I pronounce that right? Coy. What was I saying that for, Pam? Pam Sullivan watching from Sullivan. Pam Sullivan watching from Coy. I'm all tongue-tied here. Stay warm and stay safe. Marie Ann Dean says, watching, love this. Donna Sue Pebbles, hope you're doing well there. Sandra Woolley is watching in Brandon. Boy, y'all have had some weather in Brandon as we've looked at the cameras several times back over toward the Jackson area, and I don't think any of that's changed. Matter of fact, we'll look at the cameras here before we get off because we want to go over to Forest and then go back into Jackson toward Vicksburg and just look around because it is cold out there. Not much has changed. Lauderdale County Schools will be virtual tomorrow, getting that note. So if you have not gotten that yet from anybody, take heed on that. That's also going to be happening. All right, let me do some changes here and pop a button so everybody can take a look at this. Let me go right over here. I talk to myself. Can't help it. I guess if you stare at a camera and no one's in here talking, well, you get to be in a bad habit of talking to yourself all the time. Angie doesn't get it. All right, here we go. Let's pull this up where you can see here. This is the map of what we've got. And you look here at the road conditions. All these dark reds, you just can't get into Jackson. This is going to be that blocked area there. Let's go here and see if we can pull this camera up at Forest and switch to video. And here we go. Look at Forest. You got a truck getting off there, and I'm assuming that it's no travel past here. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not exactly sure what mile marker Forest is. Somebody that drives that every day may know that. And if I'd have thought ahead, I'd have looked at that before we went live, but there's no way for me to look that up real quick. But that is a scene at Forest. Let's back off and let's come on in here as we start coming into Brandon. Let's look at our first camera here, what we got in Brandon right now. And that one's not going to work right. We can see a little bit there. Let's go to the second camera. Maybe it works a little bit better. Switch to video. Here we go. This is, look, boy, that's just still slick. That has not changed. It doesn't look like since this morning. If you look at these cameras and what the roads have on them, it's a mess. Now, I don't have any way of, we've gotten pictures from a lot of places. As you go up around Philadelphia, I've gotten a few in that area too. It's slick. And I would assume Highway 15 going out of there, if y'all live up in that neck of the woods, tell me, those roads pretty much look the same. There goes an old 18-wheeler trying to ease down the road there toward Meridian. That's Brandon. As we go back over, let's go over toward Vicksburg. This is Jackson as we just drop in here and take a look. Let's see, this could switch to video. It looks like there's been a little bit of travel on those roads. Yeah. They're getting around in there. It's got a little bit burned in the middle there. It's not 2 lanes for sure in Jackson. Let's go over and see if we got any maps that are showing at the Mississippi River Bridge right now. There was one camera that was working earlier. Maybe they've gotten them on. This is the drop-off before you get to the bridge if it comes up. And here we go. This is that hill. It's a car dealership right back here. Yeah, as you can see, he's just barely climbing up that hill. That's before you go around the curve, before you get to the old rest area there at Vicksburg. Now, we'll try this other camera. I'm not sure that it's going to work. That's right here at the bridge. It has been out for the last couple, currently unavailable. So we know that conditions are no better to the west. So don't even try that. I had somebody ask me earlier this morning before we really knew what was going to go on with the forecast of what I thought about getting out and going to the Meridian Airport in the morning. I don't suggest that. We never got enough heat today to do anything. It is just downright cold outside. Has not changed one iota as we keep looking at this. And I use that word a lot too. My wife looks at me like I'm sometimes iota. Where'd that come from? I know y'all have heard that before. Heard my daddy say it for years. So if he said it, other people had to have said it. Getting word here, let's see here. Philadelphia Public School District will be closed on Wednesday. Miss Nita Thompson passed that along. She's watching. Thank you so much. Light snow in Center Hill. 19 degrees is showing on the thermometer. That is chilly. Scott said it's bad when you start answering yourself. That's when you're in trouble. Yeah, I might have done that once or twice. Maybe. I think we all talk to ourselves at some point in time. But when you spend a lot of time by yourself and you talk to cameras and you're doing this, it's easy to do that. All right, let's see here. I was trying to think of anything else that we had going on. We mentioned the curfew in Meridian. We've got EMEPA. We went over that. If you've got more pictures, we'd love. I've enjoyed. Have y'all not enjoyed that? That's been fun with everybody sharing their pictures of what it looks like in their yard and around their home and the roads. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much for doing that. If you got more pictures, love to have them. We'll share them and let everybody see it. The main thing that we've got to do is be careful. Whatever happens, the forecast is going to be changing. As we see, it could be very different from what the National Weather Service tells us could happen in the next 48 hours coming up on Thursday night. Just north of here, the north of Philadelphia, could get more snow and more ice. There's not to say that it could drift a little bit south, because this was not even predicted getting the snow that we've gotten. Still snowing in areas. So there is that chance. So keep it in mind, be safe, be careful, and we'll watch this together and get through it, and I'll give you the most accurate information that is available out there. So we've got more coming up with that. So thank you very much for that. I want to say thank you to so many people that have helped out with this. All the different texts, that really helps when we get into this and find out what's going on. Thank you to all of them. Let's see here. I was checking my notes if I needed to, if I had anything else that had come in that I hadn't mentioned. I think I've brought everything up to date. If I hadn't posted that, we'll do that on our next round when we get back together here in just a little while. A big thank you to Andy West and the Mississippi Highway Patrol for joining us this afternoon and giving us the latest of what's going on. Thanks to San Marcos Mexican Restaurant, along with Sanders Gas, Tiffany Blues Decor, along with Rick Justice, also Kim's Photography, Graphics Guru, the good folks at SMI Automotive, Piggly Wiggly, Lauderdale County Farm Supply, also Eastgate Tire and EMEPA. We're here for you as we continue through these hours of cold weather and without power in many cases. We'll be back with more updates. Thank you so much for being here. I'll be back soon.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by